has been watched more in the first 30 days of release than this film.
No shit.
It has actually set a record on Paramount Plus. The previous record was held by Teen Wolf, the movie that premiered. Teen Wolf, of course, was a show that debuted on MTV, but MTV and Paramount Plus is in together now. So when they debuted Teen Wolf, the movie, it debuted on Paramount Plus, and that was originally the number one record holder. But as of this moment, Pet Sematary Bloodlines broke that record for the first 30 days.
That's crazy.
Good for that movie. We liked it. And
it was a solid movie.
Yeah. And I'm sure people have their opinions on it, but you can go back and listen to our review. We actually really liked it. And give us more of this.
Yeah, I'm surprised that people are watching Pet Sematary. I just wasn't expecting in 2023 people are still invested in Pet Sematary that much, which is awesome in my point of view, because give me more Pet Sematary movies.
Yeah. Well, 9 times out of 10, if you have invested nowadays, what streaming service are you going to invest in, right? Because you always have the ones that are free that you can just, you watch whatever. But for the Paramount Pluses, for the Disney Plus, for, all that good shit, HBO Max or just Max right now, Hulu, you have to pay for all that. Yeah. So a lot of people have to pick and choose. So, you pick your shit and you kind of stay with it, and whatever debuts on there, you just kind of watch. And, I think a lot of people is like, well, I'll just go with Paramount Plus because that's hooked in with Showtime and blah, blah, blah. So, I think the bigger the platform is, maybe that has something to do with, oh, well, this is new on here. I've been trying to search for something to see. Let me watch this.
Yeah, that could be it. I don't know. I feel like in the past couple years, horror has been getting, I guess, more acceptable and more popular. Like some of your biggest movies in the past couple of years are horror movies.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in the decline of the superhero movies, and in the rise of kind of horror again. I feel like slashers is starting to catch its footing again. We're getting your legacy films and stuff like that. It just seems like people are, I guess, wanting to be more taken out of reality with, this less bullshit that we get in your modern movies. Comedy's pretty much dead in theaters right now.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's very, very hard to find a legit comedy movie that you can just laugh at and you don't get upset about, because they're clearly either trying to push a narrative or, their jokes are one-sided or whatnot.
Yeah.
Or some of it is just, it's not goddamn funny at all. It's just, I don't know. Modern films have a different tone about them. I know we sound like the old grumpy fucks, oh, wrestling sucks now, it was better back in the day. Music sucks now, it was better back in the day. This sucks now, it was better back in the day. It really is like that, though. It really is like that. And, at the end of the day, it's you'll have 10 things come out and maybe 2 or 3 of it is really good. The rest of it is fucking crap.
Especially with cinema right now. Unfortunately, you get a lot of people pushing their agenda and their narrative, and it's
bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Nobody wants to see that.
No. We go to the movies for an escape. I mean, we know that Tom Cruise is like 5'5" and is a crazy batshit person, but we want to go see Mission Impossible and him jump off of shit, and he looks 6'6", and he's this Billy badass character. He's not like that in real life.
No, but it's acting.
It's acting.
And there's been an attack on acting where people says, "Oh, well, you know, if you're not this ethnic group, you can't play this, even if it's a fucking voice in an animated movie, you know, or you can't do this, you can't do that." The whole point of acting is acting. It's pretending. Now, some of the stuff is some of the stuff you can maybe have an argument for, but you know, we said it, you know, a couple episodes ago when we were ranting on Disney. They don't do it because, I mean, it's become a gimmick to like change all of this. It's not like genuine. It's not like, hey, this what we interviewed and auditioned 2 or 3, you know, 4 or 5 actresses, and this person was the absolute best. It's not about that. It's, hey, we're purposely changing the race. We're purposely changing the gender. We're purposely changing the entire thing of this, and this is what we were looking for. And if you do that with 1 or 2 movies, okay, cool. You're doing it with every goddamn piece of property that you own. Yeah. And that is not genuine. It's pandering. South Park did the episode, and they were spot on. And you know they were spot on because Disney was pissed, and they were like, please stop making fun of us, or we're going to sue your ass.
Yeah.
You know,
Disney was not happy with the most recent South Park episode, but it's telling the truth. Yeah,
getting back to just modern film, I mean, it's very hard to go to the theater and see a complete movie anymore. You know, it's always like, yeah, it was all right, but it was missing this or it was missing that and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's probably why we kind of stick to horror films, you know, anyway. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm speaking for myself. You touched on it earlier about how people are pretty sick of the superhero movies. Yeah. And I think a couple reasons why is, first of all, they have ran out of the heavy hitter superheroes to make movies of, and they're stuck with D and F fucking list people. Second of all, the movies are just not made good. They're not made good. They're run-of-the-mill, average, you know, ABC type of superhero movies. There's no threat. There's no nothing. There's nothing interesting. And like you say, they put a narrative in these because of the time period that they come out in. And people, some of these movies actually might be good, but nobody cares. Like the most recent, The Marvels, everybody who's reviewed it said, hey, it's a pretty good movie. But everybody else who hasn't seen it said, you know what they say? I'm not going to see it because I have no interest in it. I don't care if it's a good movie because I have no interest in these 3 characters. No. It's not Iron Man. It's not fucking Captain America. It's not. They are secondary characters that even if I was 12, I wouldn't give a fuck about.
Well, they haven't done anything to make you care about these characters. That's the problem. They're expecting you to care about these characters for the sheer fact that these are a assorted variety of ethnicity and women. So you should support it off of that.
Which is bullshit.
You
should support it if it's a good movie.
Exactly. Now, getting back to what you were saying about horror movies, the reason I think, this is my opinion, that horror movies are more acceptable is because, like metal music, the horror community is a very open-minded community, very accepting. It has been for decades and generations. Like, if you come out and say you're gay, we're like, okay, whatever. Can you make a good movie? That doesn't matter. Like, you can't just get by off your skin tone and your gender and who you're sleeping with in horror. It's how good can you act? How good can you direct? How good can you produce? Like the guy that does Chucky. What's his name? The producer.
Fuck. If you want to ask me, I could have told you.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Mancini. Is that his name?
Don Mancini?
Don Mancini.
That ain't it, is it?
Maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
Anyway, he's gay, but nobody gives a fuck.
Chucky.
Nobody gives a shit. Now, recently, he's been driving home these agendas and being very one-sided in the Chucky series, and that's kind of driven me away from it.
Yeah.
And once you start giving me that in horror movies, I step away. And if you continue to put more of that shit into horror movies, I will, A, boycott you, and B, just not watch horror movies. Like, if horror movies start all getting like that, we will be the throwback Thursday podcast or some shit.
Yeah, listen, horror movies are about scaring people. We don't give a fuck about representation. We don't care. It's not what it's about.
No.
It's not what it's about. We don't care if the characters are gay. We don't care if the characters have they're black, white, Chinese, whatever. If it's a good movie and it's full of scares or it's full of a really good story, that's what we want. We don't want to just watch it and say, oh, they had 2 or 3 gay characters in it. Isn't that great? Like, that's not what the horror genre is about. We want to be scared. We want to see great death scenes. We want to see creative death scenes. We want to see a good storyline. Yeah. And we do not want to be like, hey, you have to support this project because it has 7 lesbians, 3 gays, 5 African Americans, and a partridge in a fucking pear tree.
And no white people.
And you can suck a dick, and that's not even a gay slur. That's an old slur that people used to say back in the day that simply means suck my dick.
Yeah. Piggybacking off of what you said, it's. I know we rant and rave about this, but we don't want this affecting our movies. Like,
yeah, we just hate ingenuine people that do it. If you have a legit reason, and you say, but when you start off with an idea of saying, you know what, I'm going to make. Instead of saying to yourself, I'm going to make a good horror movie, you start to yourself, I'm going to make a good horror movie starring a gay person. That's when you've already lost and you can burn in hell.
Right. Now, it's different if the main character is gay and that's a part of the movie. Like, say he's bullied for being gay or something like that. It has something to do with it. It's not just, let's celebrate him because he's gay. Let's celebrate him because he's straight. Let's celebrate him because he's white or Chinese. Like, you should like him for these. No, you should like this character because it's a good person or it's a strong individual or the background of this character you can relate with. There's sympathy there. Like, oh, I've been there. Like, a lot of people have been abused, so if you have a gay character that was abused as a kid and everything like that, you can touch more audiences. It's not just because he's gay. You can relate with it. Oh, well, when I was a kid, I got abused by my stepmom, blah, blah, blah. But you can relate with that character. The only difference is that character is gay. Now, there might be another person that's gay and can relate with that person, but now you're getting a variety of people that can relate with it and will be behind the character and feel for the character and be motivated by the character. That's my problem with modern day movies, is that there's no there's no feeling there. It's like